my newest AI-powered website project. As you can see, we have a website here, which was automatically generated, but each one of these are a website of their own. You can click on here, and this is the website for Guide to Solopreneurship. It has 6 articles in it. I can go ahead and read it, go back to the main page, and I can click on keywords or clear the keywords. So you can make it as short or as long as you would like. This is a website about philosophy. As you can see, we have almost 20 articles. You can go and read any one of them, and we can click on the keywords here and find the necessary article. How to build a successful SaaS business. So this is all images plus the content is generated by AI. The website itself is generated. Everything is pretty much automated, and this is actually also deployed online. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can actually use this app and deploy the code that is generated from it. All you really need is contentmaker.py, pretty much, although it works in conjunction with Cloud Unified and some HTML files, which we have pre-created. Easy stuff, really, especially using Claude. And using this, you can pretty much create any website about anything, online marketing essentials, for example. And it also beautifully has light mode and dark mode, as you can see. The code files for this project will be available at my Patreon. The link is in the description. So currently we have our created websites in different folders. Under the created website folder for baking, Django, and all the images for it are in images folder. All of this stuff is created automatically. We can actually go ahead and run this, and I'll show you what I mean. And we are running the contentmaker.py. This uses 2 AI models, Claude for content generation and Dall-E for image generation. First, we are asked, what would you like to appear as the title of the website? Let's select permaculture fundamentals. I've been watching a lot of videos on that stuff. What type of informational website you want to generate? I'm actually going to enter the same thing. So the first one, permaculture fundamentals, is going to go as the title of our website. For example, right here, instead of online marketing essentials, it's going to say permaculture fundamentals. That's the title. The second one is actually going to be instructions for the model. And then how many topics do you want to generate? For brevity, let's just select 3. Do you want to generate images for topics? We're going to say yes. But you can also generate websites without images as well. And after that, we are going to receive 3 unique topics. Designing closed-loop systems for sustainable resource management, utilizing companion planting and guild building. So we get these 3 topics, and we say, we are asked, do you want to continue with these topics? If you like it, we say yes or say no and restart the process. We're going to go ahead and say yes. And now from this point on, we are going to start receiving the content for our websites along with the images. When the images are created, they're going to be stored in the images folder. The topics are already saved in topics.json, so we heavily utilize JSON files for this project. Our first image is actually created, as you can see, and the content for it is being generated, along with a summary and details. Once this is created, we are going to start updating our index.html with this JSON object. So this JSON object, topics with explanations, gets updated with a topic, summary, and details and keywords. And so they're all interlinked and they are brought together with this index.html. Like I'm going to go ahead and start it with the live server. And as you can see, currently, this is our first article, but as the new ones come in, they will appear here automatically. I've shown you that this website is deployed at Railway online. I'll put the link in the description if you want to visit it. Also, the files for this website, all these websites that I've generated will be available at Patreon as well. Link will be in the description. But as we're generating the content, as you can see, we got our second article, which is about utilizing companion planting and guild building, summary, and the content. So we are actually creating this website live using an ingenious strategy of having an index.html with predefined styles and JavaScript to extract and implement topics from JSON files. When this website is fully created, the script automatically copies it under the created websites. There we go. We have now the permaculture fundamentals, index.html, topics with explanation, and then the images. And now we have this index.html, which is our individual website. But if I were to go ahead and launch this all websites from my local computer, then I see that permaculture fundamentals has been added to it. So all I would have to do is actually copy the files for this to the GitHub repository, which the railway is relying on to host this website, and then it'll be there. It's very easy. So this is how it works in a nutshell. It's really a cool project. It allows you to create any websites, any collection of websites. You can create individual websites if you like. If you just want to use individual websites, then this folders include the entire website. But all websites HTML brings all of them together under the created websites. You can have a collection of websites, maybe related to a certain genre, and now you can actually deploy it and host it online and share it with others. So let's start looking at the code. Before we start reviewing the code, if you are enjoying this project, remember that I have 280 plus projects just as unique and interesting as this one. And you can find each one of them at my YouTube channel or also at my website, echohive.live. Link will be in the description. You can read the descriptions from it, watch the videos here. There's a search bar for if you want to search for a specific topic you're looking for. And if you do decide to become a patron, then you'll be able to download the code files easily for any one of my projects. The benefit is that you don't have to spend hours and days coming up with ideas and projects which you can actually modify to make it your own. You can simply just download it. I have over 220 projects at my Patreon. I also have one-on-one consulting and meetings there too. Take a look at the tiers. So let's start by reviewing the code. This one uses the Cloud Unified class that I've created, which just allows us to manage the history, message history, and the streaming responses so much better. It has a lot of useful methods such as clear history, chat, trim history. But the get response is your usual call, really. It also has auto retries when API returns error messages. I have talked about Cloud Unified in detail in my Easy Opus Autocoder video if you'd like to take a look at it more in detail. But here we are initializing it. We are also importing OpenAI regularly and initializing that. Here we are going to use, we are initializing two cloud instances, one for topic generation, one for topic explainer. We're going to use Opus for each. And we're not going to have any message history being kept track of. And the system message for the topic generator is right here. Your task is to produce interesting and unique detailed topics that are relevant to the concept provided. That is the concept we are providing. And the topic explainer system message is to explain a given topic in a fresh, fun, and approachable way. And we are going to give it some XML text to return a summary and details. And then we enter an infinite while loop. We ask for a title. And then this is the interesting part. We have pre-crafted our index.html with certain styles. I've used Claude to do this. So I'm not going to review the HTML in detail, but nevertheless, it's using Tailwind CSS and has some divs that are appropriate to our design, as we saw right here, and for each individual elements, also for keywords and things like that, the header. But the magic here really happens with the JavaScript, where we are actually fetching the topics with explanation JSON and actually appending each topic that has been generated, the topic, the summary, and the details and the keywords to their appropriate divs and their places. So this is how it happens. So therefore, when we get the title, we are hacking it a little bit. We are actually reading line 63 and replacing it with this F string. And if we go to line 63, that is actually where the title appears right here. So right after 63, we are replacing that. That's how I'm doing it anyway. Maybe you can come up with a better way. Then I just overwrite that. Then we take in a concept. What type of informational website do we want to generate? How many topics, images or not? And we check, make sure we are only accepting yes or no. And then with the topic generator, we send a message asking with the chat method, your task is to return a list of this many topics, this many, so let's say this is going to say 2 or 3 or 5 unique topics that are relevant to the concept. Please return your answer as 1, 2, 3. This is what we saw earlier in our terminal. This is going to say, give us a list of topics for our website and ask us to confirm, right? And here we split it based on the numbering schema that we have provided. We extract it and we write it to topics.json, as you can see it right here. And then we ask if this is good for the user. If they say no, we break out of this, so you'll have to start it all over again. And then if everything's all in well, then we open the topics.json, load the topics, and then we create an empty content details. And we loop over these topics, and if the images are yes, then we make a call to Dall-E for an image that depicts that topic in standard quality and whatnot. We check for errors, and then we get the image, and then we do some, file name sanitization. here, and then we resize the image to 512 by 512. We are using pillow for this, I believe. By the way, the requirements are pillow, anthropic, and term color, unless hopefully I haven't forgotten anything here. We resize it, and then we pretty much save it as a PNG. So that's what we're doing here. As you can see, we've going to sanitize the file name, which we're going to use. And after that, we are calling the topic explainer, explain the topic. We give the topic, return the response in the format with summary, details, and keywords. We have already set it in the system message, but we are reiterating it. We're checking for errors. And now we are extracting the summary, details, and keywords using those XML tags. And now we pretty much add it to the content details list that we had created earlier. And then we create a topic switch explanation JSON and dump it in there like that. This leads us to this kind of format. And then we do have to have a created websites folder in our working directory. And then we create a new folder based on the title. And then we create that folder, and then we copy the index.html, the images, and the topics with explanations.json from our main directory into that newly created directory under the created website, so we can have them all under the one single umbrella. Now, this is the part that might be a bit confusing, because just like we have index.html, which is our template for designing a single website, such as Online Marketing Essentials, exactly as you see here, we also have another template to bring all those websites together. And this works exactly the same way, using JavaScript with a pre-designed template to open and actually get information from the website data.json. And the website data.json has the titles of the websites and a sample image from one of the images that we selected from all the available images as a representative. So it was difficult to figure out the path from JavaScript, at least for me anyway. So I had to kind of do this in Python, and I created JSON so that JavaScript will have an easier time. So this is what we're doing here. We look into the images folder. We create an image path for the folder, and then we dump it to website data.json. I hope this was clear. All we're doing is we're grabbing the path for the image for that particular course, and we are saving it to website data.json, which the all websites.html uses. So therefore, when we have our index.html template, all websites, topic with explanations, JSON, and website data.json, along with this folder worth of all these contents, and we have all the necessary ingredients to build a collection of websites, just like this. Before I continue, I'd like to talk about my website, codehive.app, which features 900 plus free Python applications that are GPT-powered chat applications. All these apps are free. Just search or browse for the one that you're looking for. This is for a miniature model mastery. You can actually copy the code and make it your own and run it. If you like the apps right here, you can actually click on download all, and it will lead you to my Patreon where you can download them. So this is how the website maker works in a nutshell. It allows you to create websites with any content, including with real-time generated images. And it also allows you to create content websites with collection of topics. So I have spare topics here, like baking, Django, and maybe philosophy are not very much so close topics, but you could have, if you were to create this yourself, you could have done it in any way you like with this code. And you can actually visit this websites, which is online, which I'll talk about how to do at this point. So I do use Railway to deploy my apps. And this is the deployed version of websites that Railway. All I had to do for this was actually upload the files to a new repository, which is private. And the only thing I had to do was, as you can see, I upload the topics with explanations, website data.json. And then this was the all websites.html. I had to rename it to index. That's the only change that I had to do. And the created websites is uploaded during the uploading process. This is just uploading files to GitHub. And once I've done it, all I had to do was come to my Railway, but you don't have to use Railway, but I'm just going to give you the example. Create new project, deploy from GitHub repo, and I just selected websites, and I just deployed it. That's it. It's as easy as that. And then I changed the name to websites. Now, once this was deployed, I had to come here to settings and then create a domain. It automatically generates a domain name, and I renamed it so to get rid of the dash production. Once I renamed it, I sometimes you have to redeploy it, and also once this is successfully deployed, give it a minute or so. If you're having issues, you can always check your logs. You can go to view logs right here, and I can both see your build logs, see if anything happened during the build process or during the deployment. In any case, this is it, and you can always restart or redeploy. So it's very easy, really. And like I said, the patrons will have access to these great websites that I've created, and feel free to use them any way you like. So the code files plus the created websites will be included in the Patreon download. This was the end of our video, but I'd like to talk quickly about my AutoStreamer version 3 project. AutoStreamer version 3 is a PyQt powered PyInstaller packaged Python project that I came up with. It uses your OpenAI API key to create course websites such as this one in real time. This is also deployed at Railway and including with audio.
The elif clause. In Python,
So you have quite a lot of choices, such as 6 different voice choices and over 50 languages that you can choose from. You can choose light or dark theme. When you go here to generate courses, you just enter a course that you would like to generate. For example, we just did permaculture basics, and I can pick how many chapters I'd like to generate, and I'm just going to go ahead and generate it real quick. This shouldn't take too long. Our curriculum was created successfully. I can go into view course outline and search for that permaculture. And as I can see, ethics and principles, design methods and tools, and practical applications. I can then actually select this course outline and continue to generate the course, create it in light mode, and then the website will launch automatically and will be created for you in real time. And you can record it as I'm doing right now, or actually live stream it. It's really up to you. And once it begins, we'll be able to
Ethics
pause
of
or
care
stop
for the
streaming.
earth. Permaculture revolves around 3 core ethics, one of which is the care for the earth. This ethic
I'm going to go ahead and pause it. If I were to let this run, then this entire course will be generated live, and I can listen to it live. I'm going to go ahead and stop. And if I were to let this course be generated, then it'll be under my view and launch generated courses. For example, I just created a course called Financial Basics for. Let's go ahead and launch. It's like this. I can actually switch to light mode as well, I believe. I'm sorry, dark mode. And then I can revisit this course. Both I can zoom in, both is in text, and
the importance of emergency funds.
yeah, it has 3 chapters, which I can easily use. The benefit of this, and what you'll get out of it, is that instead of chatting with in a disorganized manner, this allows you to create structured courses that you can run and listen to before you go to sleep, or just fill your time. When you have just 5 minutes or 10 minutes worth, you can visit these courses back whenever, anytime you like. So AutoStreamer, you can download a free demo for from autostreamer.live. I'll put the link in the description. Mac version is coming soon. If you click on the download free demo, it will take you to my Google Drive download. And these are the files you'll be downloading. AutoStreamerDemo.exe is the same thing as this, except with limited features. And if you wanted to download the full version, then click on this. Will take you to my Patreon shop, where it's currently only for $200 instead of $300. You can read all about it in the website. You do need an OpenAI API key for this to work. And sometimes this is a PyInstaller packaged PyQt Python application, so your McAfee or Malwarebytes may flag it as not good, but as a matter of fact, all you have to do is just make an exception for the program. And if you have any questions, feel free to join our Discord or ask me a question that you have in Discord. Well, thank you for watching, and do let me know what you think of this project. I was really proud of this one. And like I said, the code files will be available at Patreon. And I also have special tiers for one-on-one meetings with me, if that's something you're interested in. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.